Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy Faluca reporting with Frank. Frank, how's it going, dude?
We're back.
Yes, we're back. In black. Johnny Cash. Uh, my goodness, Frank, it's been a while. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Keeping busy.
Uh, cannot say the same for the ratings, unfortunately, which is a shame. So let's just dive right into it, Frank. Let's not waste any time. The Raw ratings have taken a massive nosedive.
Well, yeah, maybe not a massive nosedive, but the downward trend is not changing. It's been now about 3, 4, 5 years. It's been a slow and the key word steady decline with only a few bumps here and there, but the trend has continued, and now they're in under two rating categories in territory.
Which for Raw, that's. Can you please explain to the audience why that isn't good?
Well, for those who say that ratings don't matter, it's you are an idiot, or you're just really misinformed, because ratings in TV matter. That's what the whole purpose of TV is. That's why they have ratings. It's how they make their money. It's how advertisers how you bid for money from advertisers. So the lower your ratings, the lower money you could get from advertisers. And when the next contract comes up from USA, don't the WWE can't expect to go in there with their chests all puffed out, because they're not going to get the same amount of money. Who knows? Like I mentioned in my other video, there's no guarantee that USA will keep WWE. I mean, they probably will, but you know, ratings are the beginning and end all of TV shows.
And even though right now the two champions in WWE are wrestlers that, for the most part, the fans like, the ratings are still down. Now, some like Vince Russo, some like certain individuals that we know are blaming those particular guys. They're blaming the Seth Rollins. They're blaming the Kevin Owens, the Dean Ambroses, the AJ Styles. And they're basically saying, this is what the verbiage is. See what happens when you take away the big stars like Randy Orton and John Cena and Brock Lesnar, the ratings go down. Frank, could you please explain to the audience why that is completely wrong?
Well, just to get back on about the ratings, the most big thing is that they did the brand split. And why did they do the brand split? Because USA, they care about the ratings, and they were not happy with SmackDown, and that's why SmackDown went live, and that's why they did the brand split to divide the stars, so SmackDown could get their own stars and become their own brand. They tried this already, so now SmackDown, their ratings have increased, but that doesn't mean they're doing great. If they just did a 1.7, they're holding strong. So now it's almost like Raw and SmackDown are below 2. They're both doing below 2. So maybe you could blame the brand split. Now, of course, if you agree with me too. If you're not a fan of a certain star, you're not going to watch Raw. You'll wait to watch SmackDown. So that could hurt the ratings too. But going back to what you say about Vince Russo.
Yeah, because apparently putting guys like Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins is a bad move.
Well, yeah. Well, Vince Russo, he's just working the fans. He just wants to irritate guys like me and you who think like us, or fans of Finn Balor and Kevin Owens. But listen, you have to make new top guys and new stars sooner or later. You can't rely on the old guys. They're gonna get old, and that's the nature of the business. It's a revolving door. You have to make it. And now, when you say Finn Balor, he got hurt, so we don't know about him. He's incomplete. Kevin Owens, he's been the champion for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, about 2-3 weeks.
Has he been the focus of Raw?
No.
Who's been the focus of Raw?
You tell us, Frank.
Oh, well, boring Reigns. That's what's killing the ratings. I think they keep going back to the well, to their guy who nobody likes, or the majority of the audience doesn't like, and they could make excuse after excuse, spin it 6 ways to Sunday, but in the end, they cannot lie to themselves. I mean, and if you, I think I just it dawned on me. I mean, I knew this all along, but it dawned on me the other day. Why do they keep insisting and are hell bent on pushing John Cena and Roman Reigns? The only thing I could think of is that they are both the only one of the few performers who were created by WWE. They started in WWE, they were molded in WWE, and they were groomed in WWE. If you know WWE's history, they don't like to push any talent that they didn't create, and it's like they are hell bent on going down with the ship. That's their working strategy, and they're riding it to the end.
That I'd love to know what the excuse is for Dolph Ziggler and Bray Wyatt, because they were both WWE made talent. They were never anywhere else.
Who'd you say, Dolph Ziggler and who?
Bray Wyatt.
Well, they just don't see money in them. That's why they didn't get chosen.
That's why I laughed when I saw that post of how WWE is apparently high on Bray Wyatt. Really, they got a funny way of showing it if that's the case.
If you notice, again, I always talk about patterns.
The clues.
Anybody they are high on from the very start. They don't wait. They don't make the guy. They don't sink a guy for 2-3 years and then all of a sudden do a 180 and boost him to the moon. Can you name me anybody that they've done that to? I can't. Just look at the guys that are on top. Cena, he's been boosted to the moon since day one. Roman Reigns boosted to the moon since day one. Even AJ Styles, they had high big plans for him. He was from the start. He was a main event title matches on pay-per-view.
No, it's just, I personally, this is just me. The reason that I feel that the ratings are continuing to go down, because unlike what I said at the top of this video, this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the ratings are continuously going down, because the ratings have been going down. Frank and I have talked about this several times on the show. The ratings are continuously going down because I think the damage has already been done. I think the damage that the organization has done to their fan base is too extensive, and it's gotten to the point where they're never going to get those ratings back up to where they need to be. I mean, Frank and I have talked about this on our show, and we've gotten, a couple of guys, speak out of turn, were nasty, disrespectful because we expressed what we think and we expressed our opinions. But if you actually stop and think about it, all the stuff that we've talked about, Frank, is now coming to fruition. We talked about WWE not protecting their young guys, not featuring them like they matter, constantly relying on old names that really don't need to be pushed anymore, and ignoring their fans. Those 4 things. Can we agree that those 4 things are what has led to the ratings decline?
Some of them, those are the contributing factors, but the problem is more deeper than that. But we'll talk about that a little. But when you say we've been saying this, we've been sounding the alarm for years and years, and some people get butthurt. It's not only us. There's a lot of people who think like us.
A lot of people have said it. Solid Monster has said it. Bruce Blitz has said it. The plenty of podcasts have been saying, listen, if you keep doing this, eventually it's going to have an effect. Because as much as I like that urn sitting over there, the Undertaker's not going to be able to rise from the grave and continue to be the character he was in '98. The guy's finished. He's done.
It wouldn't even help if he was back, and I'll talk
exactly.
About it. But this is then when we talk, and then there's you mentioned those guys that have been sounding the alarm, but then you have the other side the shills who either work for WWE or who hope to work for WWE and don't want to get ostracized and punished, they'll make excuse after excuse and
Like
say,
saying 2015 was their most profitable year.
yeah, yeah.
Trying to make it seem like 2015 was actually a good year for
No,
them.
2015. No, they made the most money, but it wasn't the most profitable. And then you have the apologists on the internet who just repeat anything that these they see. They'll repeat and they'll swear by it. And what was the excuse? Raw, the ratings went down because they're up against the Olympics. The Olympics are on. Oh, it's the presidential debate. It's
the NFL. Even though they've been going up against the NFL for 20 years,
yeah,
that wasn't an excuse in 98, 99, 2000. But now all of a sudden, like, I don't seem to recall the NFL saying that they were doing poor ratings because of WWE. Not once.
Oh, and then this week, Tuesday, the report came out that the NFL's ratings have taken a little bit of a dip, and you have some fans will say, "Oh, you see, it's not only Raw, it's the NFL too." But they missed the point. What's going on in the NFL right now with the players protesting the anthem? A lot of people are pissed off about that.
Yes, they are.
They're boycotting. And like I mentioned in my video, the NFL right now is suffering from a shortage of superstars. Peyton Manning retired. Tom Brady has been suspended this year so far. The NFL is short on superstars. There's not a really great team that people want to see. So, but the NFL will turn that around. The WWE, that's not guaranteed anytime soon. And the people, the viewers that the NFL has temporarily lost is almost
back.
And no, the viewers that they lost in the last few weeks, that's the entire viewing audience of Raw. So don't even. It is. They lost 3 million viewers. That's the entire viewership of Raw.
Right. Raw can't even get 3 million viewers.
Don't ever compare the NFL with WWE. The WWE is not even worth $1 billion. One NFL team is worth $1 billion, and there's over 30 NFL teams. So don't compare the WWE with the NFL.
So let's get into this. You know, the sounding of the alarms. You know, Frank and I have been what we discussed, Frank. You know, we've been waving the SOS sign. We've been saying, listen, if you keep going down this road, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
Please explain to the audience some of the warning signs that we tried to explain. You know, what was going to end up being what we've got now. The continuously pushing of the legends, not trying to make any new stars unless it was someone that they specifically wanted.
Cena Reigns.
You know, as much as I'm trying to avoid him like the plague.
No, you can't, because he is the Cena and now Reigns are the bullseye. They are that's first of all, that's number one. When you keep seeing the same guy week in and week out winning, he can't be beat. He's unbeatable.
Whenever he does lose, it's because he slips on a banana peel.
He's not. They don't book him as showing him as vulnerable. They book him as invincible. Which who the hell wants to see that? If you go to the movies or a TV show where the supposed featured hero is indestructible and can't be beat, and he just beats the bad guys up throughout the whole movie. All right, maybe that's fun the first time around. Okay, maybe the second time around, oh, look at this. This guy is so kick-ass. But it's going to get boring after a while. Exactly. And Raw, as I said, once you peel the layers back, it's a 3-hour commercial with segments sprinkled in and meaningless 3-4 minute matches.
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. I look at 2015 as a 2015 and 2016 are the 2 years where the ratings really dipped. Because if you really think about it, think about 2015 and 2016. What do those years really signify if you're a WWE fan?
It's the Roman Reigns era.
It's not even that. As much as again, I'm trying to avoid him because I don't want to hear that all I do is talk about him, because that's what I hear.
But that's all they
Then
push.
you look at 2015. It was all about Cena on Mondays. Who's he going to beat next?
Oh yeah, that was the open challenge.
Whose finisher is he going to kick out of this week? And then people tried to turn around and say he was having the best matches out of anybody. When in truth, he was given the most time on every episode. He was given the most time. He was given the best guys to work with, and he had the booking structure. If there's two things I'll give Cena credit for, is this: he's a good weight room athlete, and he knows how to structure a match.
1 second. 2015, the Raw after WrestleMania did a 3.6. For the rest of the year, Raw never did higher than a 3. So after that,
they peaked.
It popped the night after WrestleMania, and they never did a 3 the rest of 2015.
When did they start going below a 3?
The next day, the next week, they went 3.6 after WrestleMania, and then the next week they went 2.8, 2.7, 2.8, 2.6, 2.5, and they kept bouncing up and down between 2.5 and 2.6 and 2.7.
And Frank, will you please tell the listening audience what the rating was last week that has caused this giant discussion?
Last week it was a 1.9, and the week before was a 1.8.
Isn't a 1.8 the worst rating they've ever done?
It's the worst going back to the pre-Attitude Era. So if you want to say that the Attitude Era started in mid-1997 or early 1997, so it would have to be before 1997. The lowest rating for Raw since probably late 96, early 97. That's 20 years, the lowest rating in 20 years.
When you're drawing ratings like that and there's no significant change, that's how you know there's a problem. But you want to know something? I can't even talk about change anymore because I've completely changed my position. The damage has already been done. That's why I think, even though Kevin Owens is the champ and Seth Rollins is challenging and he's becoming a babyface, the damage is already done to your product.
The problem is there's a hole in the gas tank.
And what caused that hole, Frank?
Oh, now
let's go through the list.
It's deeper than it's very deep. It's the structure of the show. First of all, the 3 hours is really killing them. It's hard to watch.
That third hour destroys them.
It's just hard because there's so much commercials. You get 3 hours plus. Let's say you get 185 minutes total. You're lucky if you get 40 minutes of in-ring action. That's a lot. That's too much. There's too much commercials. It really becomes a chore to watch the whole thing. And live anyway. So now if you want to watch DVR it and fast forward it, okay.
I just watched the highlights on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, well, all right. I'm just telling you from my perspective. That's how I watched it for a couple of years, DVR'd, and then I would fast forward the commercials and then fast forward the segments I didn't care for. And then I found myself just fast forwarding a lot, just fast forwarding through everything. I can't even watch anything. And now I'm all I do now is watch after Raw. I watch the YouTube clips, the 2-3 minute segments, and I follow everything in about 15-20 minutes. Why am I going to watch 3.5 hours of crap?
Well, like I said, that's number one. The structure of the show has been a problem since they went to that third hour.
That's the time.
Give us another one, Frank.
Then they don't leave you. When Raw was at its best, they kept you hanging on. You had to. You just had to keep tuning in, and even if you change the channel to just go watch the football game, you had to switch back to see what was going to happen or to see how something was going to play out. Now, the last 5, 6 years, 7 years, it opens up with the authority figure. the GM, the heel GM, who comes out, starts going on and on, starts boring the audience, retells what happened, the events of the last boring episode from last week. Then you get the hero comes out, and then another guy comes out, and everybody comes out and to file their grievances, and they're trying to set up the show, and it's 8:20, and now it's just ugh. And then once they announce the matches, I know who's going to be in the main event. Now, lately, if I hear Roman Reigns is going to be in the main event, I'm not going to watch that. For what? Superman punch, spear. What? Just because he's been losing the last month? I'm not going to stick around just to see if he's going to lose again. I'm not falling for that.
Frank, you're just a jaded hater.
No, I'm not. And then what happened last week? What happened this week?
He beat the WWE Universe
on the Go Home show in the steel cage. And then what happened after that? His opponent for Clash of the Champions, Seth Rollins, comes in and wipes him out, makes him look like a piece of shit. So they're booking Kevin Owens as a weak chicken shit champion who everybody just beats up. And they say, "Oh, but we're freak." The week before Kevin Owens beat Roman Reigns. Well, he should be. He should. He's the champion. Why did they have to? Why did Roman Reigns have to face Kevin Owens?
Because it's like you said, they want him to be the focus.
But why? The week before, he got the match to see if he could, if it could be a three-way. If he won, it would have been a triple threat. He lost. Why is he in the main event? Why did he have to wrestle Kevin Owens again? He lost clean the week before.
Because he's their guy. And they want him to get as much shine as possible.
And now what?
It's no different than what they've done with Mr. Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
They're going to do the same thing with him.
And now it's almost, now you're thinking back, John Cena looked more exciting compared to Roman Reigns. At least John Cena could maneuver and talk and pander, and you hated him even more. Roman Reigns can't talk on the mic. He has absolutely zero mic skills. Yeah, believe that. He's terrible. He can't even talk. And I'm telling you, I keep saying that suspension, that was a work. I don't care. That was a work. That was to pull the plug on him because he was getting booed so much as a champion. He wasn't working. They said it'll be a good way to get him off TV, and then he could come back and we could repackage him and show him as vulnerable. No. You noticed when he got suspended, then there was a rash of suspensions, right? And all those people got suspended. What happened? It wound up being that they were unhappy. Alberto Del Rio wanted out of his contract. Paige wanted out of. She's at the door. Ava, Marie, whatever. Wellness policy. It's all work. They're not gonna. Maybe it's a suspension, but that tells me they probably covered it up in the past.
Oh, absolutely. You think that Cena's gone his entire career without taking any sort of steroid?
Oh, but you can't tell if he do steroids.
Of course you can.
I'm as close to a Brock Lesnar fan. I was the first guy to say, you go back and check. Since day one, he's juiced to the gills. You see his eyebrows. His eyebrows are protruding. That's from growth hormones and steroids.
But let's not deviate from what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about why these ratings have gone down over the years, because this didn't happen overnight. The ratings started to dip in like 2005. And ever since then, they have steadily gone down.
Let's not forget the PG rating is, I mean, and they don't even though it's a PG-13 rating, I mean, they don't even push the envelope. I'm not saying we have to go back to having bra and panty matches, but I mean, oh my God, it's like just you hear it in the promos and when they speak. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's getting an echo.
No, I hear you perfectly, Frank. Well, I'll tell you what, Frank. I'm going to give you my list of what I think is the reason why these ratings have gone down. And you let me know if you agree or disagree with any of them when I'm finished.
Right.
Number one, I don't care how much money he makes them in merchandise. The continuous push of guys like John Cena, Randy Orton at the top when they're not that good to begin with has hurt them. I think that continuously just pushing those two guys, whether anyone else was more over than them or not, regardless of whether they were being outsold, outperformed, they were the guys that they pushed. And why did they push them? Because they figured they're the safe bet. They're not going to go anywhere. They're going to toe the company line. We're going to invest all our eggs into those baskets and hopefully get a return on it. That's number one. Number two, not protecting any of the young crop of talent that has come up. I could give you a whole list of guys, and I could tell you they have had no protection for their characters. Is Kevin Owens protected? No. Bray Wyatt protected? No.
He's a jobber.
He's a glorified jobber. Has Cesaro been protected? No.
He's a jobber.
Has Seth Rollins been protected? No. Dean Ambrose this past year, they tried to put him 6 feet underground at WrestleMania. Frank got into a whole deal talking about that match with Brock Lesnar and how they did that on purpose.
Of course.
Making sure that match was a debacle because they wanted Dean Ambrose to look like a fucking idiot. You could even make an argument that Roman Reigns, the company has left him out to dry with this friggin' character. You don't think for a second that that guy wants to bust out and become a bad guy? I believe in my heart of hearts, Frank, that guy recognizes that his babyface run ain't working, and I think that he would embrace being a villain.
I think they have admitted that behind the scenes.
Then how come nothing's being done? Or are they saving that turn for a later date?
No, now they changed strategy. Hold on. I'm going to cut out. I'm going to go back.
All right, no problem. But, no, it's like Frank and I have been discussing for the last couple of years. I talked about this. I started doing my own stuff back in 2014 when the whole thing went down with Daniel Bryan in the 2014 Royal Rumble. And I'm sure Frank will agree with me. You don't think that guy being the most over guy in the company and not even being in the Royal Rumble match, you don't think that pissed people off? You don't think that chases away viewers when they gravitate toward these guys and then they do nothing with them?
Yeah.
Bryan was never even going to get that moment if the fans didn't rebel. You could even look at CM Punk as an example. Frank, how over was CM Punk at his hottest?
Him and Daniel Bryan Rivera. And you can't keep giving a fan bitter pills to swallow.
Thank you.
And again, then you follow the bitter pills up with shit.
I've been saying this for years. If you continuously don't get professional wrestling, at the end of the day, is a customer-driven business. And if you're not trying to appease your customers, you will lose them. And the funny thing is, I've always hoped that they would turn the tide, that I would be wrong, and I would be happy to admit it. I believed 100% that Cena was beating Styles at SummerSlam. It didn't happen. I went on the page and I openly admitted I was wrong. But lo and behold, Frank, what are they building towards for WrestleMania?
All right. But with Cena, he's doing the right thing. But obviously, because he's not steady right now. He's got other projects. He's going to leave again right after No Mercy. So they can't go full throttle. But
WrestleMania 33 is going to end with him beating Styles for the belt.
No, I don't think so.
I hope you're right, Frank. Believe me when I tell you.
I saw yesterday somebody posted an advertisement for WWE December 23rd. And it had AJ Styles with the belt. So I think at minimum he's holding it for Royal Rumble.
I honestly, even Joe, who's a big Cena fan, for whatever reason, that's his business, even he admitted Cena don't need it. He doesn't need to be the champion. It's no different. I would say the same thing for guys like Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. Those guys don't need to be winning titles. They don't.
I mean, if you're a Cena fan and he wins the title again, you're really going to jump up and down and get happy. I mean, what is it now? Now you could go online and say, "Oh, he's the greatest. He tied Ric Flair." He didn't tie Ric Flair. He's booked. He's scripted. Doesn't mean he's the greatest champion of all time. And neither is Ric Flair.
I disagree. I think Flair is the greatest.
Well, not because he held the title for 6 times.
No, it's not. It's not the number of titles that to me makes Flair the greatest. What makes Flair the greatest is that as a world champion, as a worker, the guy was incredible.
Yeah,
the guy was absolutely incredible.
The reason why he accumulated so many titles reigns is he was the NWA champion, and he was
going up there, guys, right there.
Yeah, he would go into territory, face the hot guy in that territory. And if he was a really good talent, he would drop the title to put him over. And then a week later, Ric Flair would wrestle him, win the title back, and leave. So, and he established a star. And he would do that continuously.
Yep.
That's why he has 60 Yeah, but guys like
Cena... What's causing all this? 10 pounds of gold.
Yeah, guys like Cena... He has 15 titles in 10 years. They just give him the title whenever they panic. And if you look at his title reigns, he always holds it for a month, 2 months, 3 months. I think he only has one title reign where he went the whole year.
Yeah. But the point I've been trying to make is that putting championships on guys that don't need it, to me, that's first of all, it's a waste of time, number one. Number two, you're doing a disservice to the belt itself, number two. And number three, especially when you're in the type of mode WWE's in now where you're drawing record low ratings, you need to be concerned about your future. Where are you going to be a year from now? Where are you going to be 3 years from now? Where are you going to be 5 years from now? Because right now, I don't know where they're going to be 6 months from now. Because if the ratings continue to go down, Frank, that's not good.
Right. Well,
at the rate that the ratings are going down, I mean, how low are they going to go?
I think they'll hold in the 2 range. But there'll be fans that say, "Oh, Jimmy, the WWE did put the belt on you guys. They put it on Finn Balor, Dean Ambrose, EJ, and now Kevin Owens." But what's the point if they're going to be booked weak?
Precisely. Now, with Finn Balor, you can't really say anything because the guy got hurt the night he won the championship. That's number one. But for the rest of these here fucking guys...
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins, when he was the WWE champion, was one of the weakest champions since The Miz. Right. And that's pretty fucking low.
So they
fucking low.
Put the title on these guys. Like a ribbon.
See, okay, and I'm not trying to get personal with the guy, but Nick Durst believes that all the damage done to Dean Ambrose this past year is undone because they put the belt on him. Really? All the damage that they fucking did to him from January until he won the belt at Money in the Bank, all that was undone just because they put a belt on him?
Well, now,
Frank, can you please explain to the audience how stupid and ridiculous that mindset is?
Well, since they had to pull the plug on Roman, they realized that Dean was the guy. So now they had to repair him since he won the title. That's why he beats Cena on TV because of all that damage. You
know, most people when they make mistakes, would have some shame. But I don't think they do. I don't think they do at all. It was stupid to have him lose 2 times in a row to Reigns when he was more over than him. Now, if Reigns was a heel, I could live with it because you're putting steam on a heel that's going to get knocked down by an over babyface. It was stupid to have him lose to Triple H. It was even stupider to have him pretty much squashed by Brock Lesnar, which was freaking retarded. That freaking street fight was one of the worst street fights in the history of the business. Oh my God!
Yeah,
it was absolute trash. And then
they should have had in the match at WrestleMania. They should have made that.
And then to top it all off, what do they have him doing after he gets squashed by Brock? He comes out and he's talking to potted plants. Yeah, I'm going to take that guy seriously.
No, because they're burying him. And burying doesn't mean that they're assassinating his character.
They're trying to knock him down a couple of pegs.
Right. So people could forget about it.
So you get to Dean Ambrose. Okay. We just listed all the problems that they had with him. Seth Rollins, we already listed all the problems with him. Roman Reigns, we already listed all the problems with him. Let's get to Bray Wyatt. Why the fuck would anyone pay a cent to go see that guy wrestle?
I don't know. Light up your phone.
You're talking to someone that thinks that Bray Wyatt's one of the best all-around talents that they have. But in terms of credibility, in the eyes of the casual viewer, which apparently is who they care about, he has no credibility. He's a glorified jobber. And if you want to understand how the WWE views Bray Wyatt, just look at WrestleMania this year. What did they do with him? They had him come out, The Rock and Cena wipe.
That was a character assassination.
Exactly. I'm going to take what Frank just said. That was a character assassination. And was it necessary, Frank? Was that necessary to have him just trotted out there just to get bitched by Cena and company?
They figure he's popular enough where one heard him that much. But
could you please explain to the viewers why ultimately that is a terrible mindset to have?
Because eventually you're conditioned to see this guy lose. And we're conditioned right now for Bray Wyatt. He cuts the scary promos, hardly wrestles, and then loses. So why would you invest any of your emotional time in Bray Wyatt?
I saw him lose to Kane, and all I could do was shake my head.
Oh my God! Why? Why did Kane have to beat Bray Wyatt? Where's Kane been? Since he beat Bray Wyatt. Kane filled in for Randy. Because Randy Orton, he wasn't medically cleared. Why did Kane have to win?
Didn't have to. Bray Wyatt should have whipped his ass and beat him.
That would have put more heat on Bray Wyatt. It would have built him up, and then you would say, "Okay, now I really want to see Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt." Why would I want to see Randy Orton fight Bray Wyatt after Kane? It's a joke.
It is an absolute joke. And now let's get to Cesaro.
Oh boy.
Another guy that had momentum, was completely squandered, and he loses on free television to fucking 40-something-year-old Chris Jericho.
He's lost 70% of matches.
He doesn't even get 50-50 booking. He gets 70. He gets 30-70 booking. When you're that good, you shouldn't be getting booked like that. I'm sorry. There's no excuse.
It came from the horse's mouth. They don't see it. They don't see anything. And don't just blame Vince, because Vince has people on the side whispering in his ear, saying, I don't think he has. And Vince is going to listen to them. Road Dogg Arn Anderson.
Oh, please don't get me started on Road Dogg, the same son of a bitch who turns around and says, and it amazes me that as a former talent he could say that wins and losses don't count. Character is all that matters.
Yeah, he was talking about Dean Ambrose.
No, actually, he was talking about Kevin Owens.
Oh, Kevin Owens. Okay. Yeah, he's right in a way.
Listen, wins and losses aren't everything. I'll give him that. But at the end of the day, all the stories, the few that you actually get, and the show is based on matches which are based on wins and losses, and those wins and losses do count.
See, if it's a legitimate good talent, if you take away from him, you're going to have to put back. Meaning, okay, he can lose a match on TV, but then you have to give it back and give him a big win. Scott Hall, he's always famous for saying he didn't care about wins or losses. He would do the job. He don't care. But Scott Hall would get big win. And then he'll go on TV and lose to an unknown, like the 1-2-3 Kid. He'll lose to Doink.
I don't even want to talk anymore because I feel like I've settled it. I feel like I've settled this stuff 1,000 times. But, you know, we're the IWC, Frank. We're the Smarks. We just bitch and moan just to bitch and moan. We don't actually care about the product. We don't care about the future of the product. We don't want our kids to be able to watch this product. We don't care. We just like to complain. Really, then how come I haven't complained a single word about NXT? That last special that they had made SummerSlam look like a joke. Dallas made WrestleMania look like a joke. And now they're looking to have a friggin' takeover special before every Big Four pay-per-view.
Because it's working.
NXT outperforms the main roster in every way, shape, or form.
Well, there's a lot of reasons. Number one,
yeah, because NXT is booked like a professional wrestling program.
Yes. But number one, those NXT stars are not overexposed. Come on, really?
That is actually a very good point, Frank.
Okay. So whenever you see them on a takeover, it's like they're fresh.
Again, like I said, NXT is like an old school professional wrestling show. You didn't see Hulk Hogan every week. You didn't see Andre the Giant every week. Now, I'm not saying all the top guys should have Brock Lesnar scheduled. I don't want no more lazy part-timers on my program. Yes, I'm calling Brock Lesnar lazy because that's what he fucking is. He's a money-grubbing, lazy motherfucker. Lazy, steroided motherfucker.
Well, he doesn't have to wrestle on Raw. I
don't give a shit if he wrestles on Raw.
It's redundant. What is he going to do?
I really don't care if he wrestles on Raw. I really don't care if he does or not.
He's always supposed to wrestle on paper.
Now, you're lucky if you get 3 out of him in a year.
Well, because he is not geared to be the top guy. You don't want him to be the top guy.
No, I don't want him to be the top guy. I want to see this guy going out there getting beat by guys like Bray Wyatt and Kevin Owens.
But then if he does, he's
got to lose at some point.
He will.
He can't win everything.
He will. James.
And the funny thing is, if you just have him steamroll all the guys, it's no different than Cena. If you have these older guys steamroll all the young guys that you have, you're in situations like this. Why do you think these ratings are down? Because the fans have no reason to pay to see any of these fucking guys. Because only 3 guys on the roster are credible. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Roman Reigns.
Right. But even
two of those 3 guys can't get the correct reaction. And the other guy don't give 2 flying shits about the business.
Well,
think about that.
Lesnar, he doesn't win all the time.
He gets the Cena booking, Frank.
No,
when he loses, he's protected, and when he wins decisively. That's Cena booking.
No, Cena booking is he wins everything every time.
No, Cena doesn't win every match, but 90% of the time. he's protected in defeat.
Right. But
Brock Lesnar has not had one unprotected loss since he broke the Undertaker's streak, which should have never happened to begin with.
I guess his first match against Reynolds in 2012 against Cena. Come on, he lost to Triple H.
That's what annoys me. He beat the streak, but he lost to those two guys. That, to me, is retarded, and that only proves to me that that was not a long-term plan to break the streak. That was just done on the fly, just like Shawn Michaels said it was.
You think it was done on the fly?
Shawn Michaels said the decision was made 4 hours before the event started.
Well, listen. Everybody involved agreed. So, and even the Undertaker.
I understand that, and I have his name played on my World Heavyweight Championship. And as much as I love the guy, cheers to him, doesn't mean I agree with him. That was a stupid decision. It ultimately has benefited nobody, not the Undertaker. It benefited Brock Lesnar short term because now he's fizzled out. Brock isn't a hot commodity like he was back in the beginning of 2015.
The streak was becoming so big that
it was a selling point. It was a selling point to WrestleMania.
And the Undertaker, he's up there in age. He can't commit to it.
So then retire. That's what I say. Retire. He was 20-0. He should have retired at 20-0. Call it a career. Go in the Hall of Fame. See you in the next life, Mark Calloway.
Listen. Those seven-figure paydays.
Well, then, if that's the case, then he shouldn't have been losing. And if you really want to, or here's a crazy idea. I never thought I'd say this. Why couldn't they have done what they did at SummerSlam? Have Taker tap, but the referee doesn't see it. So technically Brock does break the streak, but at the same time Taker beats him.
Protect the streak.
But protect Brock, and then you could have them have a rematch in which Brock actually gets the Undertaker for the first time ever to actually tap out and lose via submission.
But is that a WrestleMania?
Huh?
Is that going to be a WrestleMania?
Oh, absolutely not. I would have had Brock Lesnar. If in my world, I would have had Taker beat Brock at WrestleMania, but because he does what he does, Brock breaks his arm after the match. Taker ends up, if he doesn't suffer the concussion and suffer the injuries
but James,
that he does, obviously.
That's not ending the streak. They had to end the streak. Because Undertaker couldn't commit to it anymore. And it was becoming...
Really? He couldn't commit? He couldn't commit? Then what's he been doing the last couple of years? He's been around pretty consistently. Couldn't commit. I'll tell you why they broke that streak. They broke that streak with the mindset of having Roman Reigns beat Brock Lesnar so they could say Roman Reigns was the guy that beat the guy.
I don't think that might happen.
That was the thought. I believe in my heart that was the thought process because, Frank, what was the main event?
I think they had that in their mind. Now, I don't think that's...
I think that's why they did it.
Yeah, but the WrestleMania after what was it, when he fought Bray Wyatt.
That was 31.
Right, that was his already had lost.
Yeah.
Undertaker didn't look too good. Last year against Shane, very underwhelming.
Because look who he was in. First of all, look who he was in the ring with.
I know, but he looked old.
And the match he had with Bray wasn't bad, and the matches he had with Brock were fine.
Right. Brock raised his game. Raised the Undertaker. Those matches were some of the best of that year.
They were. But now we're getting off track because I start talking about Taker. And
we had to have the obligatory Undertaker speech.
Well, I'll till the day I drop dead, whenever that day comes, I'll never think for a single second that breaking that streak was a good idea because Larry has given me the best line to use when it comes to looking at that situation. Looking back on it, you have to ask yourself one question. Was it worth it? And if the answer is no, then what was the point?
That's it. They got enough blood out of the stone. It would have looked ridiculous having an older Undertaker keep showing up at WrestleMania and winning.
I just feel, and a lot of Undertaker fans felt, that because of all his years of service and his loyalty to the business, he earned the right to keep that streak.
He should have retired.
I agree.
But you know what would happen? Every year, close to WrestleMania, people would start rumors, want to see him.
So that doesn't influence what he does. He's the Undertaker. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He obviously proved he does whatever he wants by making the dumb dick decision of letting Brock Lesnar beat him.
Yeah, well, like I said, it all comes down to money.
Well, if it all comes down to money, that streak was a drawing factor to WrestleMania that they no longer have.
Your buddy Triple H is going to slide in that slot. Sure he is.
The Undertaker. Listen, I may like Triple H from a creative standpoint because of how he deals with NXT, but he ain't no Undertaker. Let's make sure. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
If you haven't noticed, he's sliding into that slot.
What, that he wrestles once a year? So I don't give a damn.
At WrestleMania.
I don't give a damn. He doesn't have the same type of quality matches that Taker's had with others. But getting back to our original point, the ratings have dipped because of the damage that's already done.
And who's to blame?
Who's to blame?
I think you always fail to blame Triple H and Stephanie. They have
I don't blame Triple H.
They have a lot of control. It's Triple H and Stephanie run Raw.
I blame three or four people.
I know
for the ratings of Raw being in the shit can that it is. I blame Vince because he has the final say on everything.
But
I blame Kevin Dunn. I blame Kevin Dunn because he's head of production. I blame Stephanie McMahon because despite what you say, she has more authority than Triple H does. And number 4, I blame Cena as well because he's been the top guy. The buck stops at the top guy. Who's been the top guy consistently for the last decade plus when these ratings started to go down? Who's him?
Cena.
Now, I ask you.
Who was handpicked by Stephanie?
I appeal to you as a businessman, Frank. Has he brought in more viewers since becoming the top guy?
No. It's beyond that. There's nobody out there that's going to bring in viewers. Not one single person is not going to bring viewers.
So are we just... Is the WWE on its deathbed?
No.
To where they're slowly but surely dying?
No, you just have to change the format of the show. And don't push the wrong guy.
Because I got news for you. Reigns and Cena are walking out of WrestleMania with their respective titles.
I don't know. But today, right now, people want to see good in-ring action. And they don't want it from one person.
And the argument that's going to be made is that they're getting it now. How come the ratings aren't going back up?
They're not getting it. Who's the one person? It's Roman Reigns.
I'm just telling you the arguments that are going to be thrown our way. AJ Styles is the WWE champion. Kevin Owens is the Universal champion. What more do you want?
Okay, but like we said, if they're going to be booked as league champions, then you're still back to square one.
Frank is applying logic here.
It's the truth.
You know, it's simple. You look back at the friggin' Ruthless Aggression era that was coming off the heels of the Attitude Era. Brock Lesnar wasn't booked as a shit champion. He was booked as a credible champion. Kurt Angle wasn't booked as a shit champion. He was a credible champion. You can go down the line. You know, you have to protect your young guys. At the end of the day, that is something I have been hounding on for years. And I've gotten into more arguments and more disagreements with people over this topic, and I've never understood why. Why would you not want to protect the young guys that are going to be the future of this business?
And it's not only that. You have to have Cliffhanger. At the end of every show, you have to wanting more. Like, oh wow, I can't wait to see next week. That's the way it was. After a pay-per-view, whoa, I can't wait for Raw. I gotta see what happens. Then you watch Raw. It's like, oh wow, I can't wait to see what happens. And that
feeling of excitement is that feeling of excitement isn't there.
Yeah, now it's like okay.
And honestly, for me personally, I can't speak for every viewer, but the reason I feel no excitement is because I don't believe for a single second that they're actually going to do the right thing by their talent. I think that they're just going to waste everybody's time ultimately. It's like you said earlier in the year, that whole Dean Ambrose push was just a cookie. Because look what they did with him. It turned out Frank was 100% correct. Because look what they did with him. Him winning that belt was just a cookie to shut us up.
Yeah. That was a emergency plan. And now look, Kevin Owens. He beat Roman Reigns. But what good is that? If he just goes and loses next week. To me, I come off saying he got lucky. That's what it looks like.
And it's not even like he won on his own. He won because Rusev came in.
Right. He got lucky.
But then I also go back. How many times has Kevin Owens been beaten clean on free television?
Too many times.
Too many times. You know why Kevin Owens can't establish any momentum? Because he loses too goddamn much.
And your buddy again.
That seems to be the problem with a lot of these guys. That's the problem with Cesaro. That's the problem with Bray Wyatt. That's the problem with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. These guys lose way too damn much.
I have to bring up your buddy again.
Why?
The only reason why Kevin Owens is because Triple H helped him. So
that's part of the storyline.
Why couldn't he win clean? Why do we have to
disagree? I don't disagree with you.
Like I said,
I think Kevin Owens should have won that fatal 4-way clean.
Triple H now he has to be part of the show.
If Triple H came out afterwards and pedigreed Rollins after the match, I don't think you would have had any problem with it.
No. But we've seen this pattern. Triple H has to decide who the champions. We saw it SummerSlam.
Well, Triple H hasn't really come out and said anything. They could go one of two ways with that, Frank. They could either go the same route, it's best for business, blah, 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 or Triple H could catch everybody off guard and say, I'm looking out for my NXT boys.
Yeah.
And if he does that, that's something people will tune in for because there's a lot of fans of NXT.
But they're going that way. Because the NXT guys are coming up to the And your buddy Triple H, he always has to stick his big nose in the spotlight. I know you like him. Because
I like Triple H from an administrative standpoint. I don't care for him as a talent because I do agree that when he's an active talent, he's all about himself.
Right. Why did he have to book himself to win the belt at Royal Rumble?
It was only to pass it back to Reigns.
Yeah, you know why? He said, "I'll get him over. I'm the best heel you got. And I'll put Roman over WrestleMania." Fail. The night he won it,
Reigns could have been in the ring. Frank, I got news for you, and I'm not defending Triple H on this, but Reigns could have been in the ring with absolutely anybody at WrestleMania 32, and he was getting booed out of the building.
If Triple H is that smart, he would have known that. He wins at Royal Rumble. He got a big pop. He beats up Roman Reigns. Bloodies him. Fans are cheering him.
And when he does it to Dean Ambrose,
he's a face. He's a face. And he goes out there acting like a heel. What did we talk about Roman Reigns? He's a face. Who should be a heel? Triple H can't even book himself right. People like you and people like a lot of people like NXT they view Triple H as a face. Right? When he warms up the crowd at NXT, he gets a big pop. But he tries to act like a heel. And then, of course, we know the disaster of WrestleMania. The 28-minute
WrestleMania 32 is one of the worst WrestleManias in history.
Yeah. Triple H.
Absolutely fucking disgraceful.
He tried to put Roman through a clinic. And then it ended with 90,000 people voting.
That was easily one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time, and no one will ever tell me otherwise.
Vince, I'll get him over. I'm the game.
I still say you gotta lay the blame at the feet of Vince, because he has the final say. And if Vince had the sense, knowing that this wasn't working,
but listen, is he going to say no to Triple H?
If he thinks that it's not going to work, yes, he will.
But is he going to say no all the time?
No, but when it comes to WrestleMania, it's a different story.
I don't know.
I don't know either. And I think that's where we're leaving it. Yes, neither one of us know. Neither one of us know where this shit's going, because if the ratings continue to go down the way they go, the way they're going, Frank, not UFC.
Listen, the blame is on the whole mindset. It's the company policy, company strategy. They got to change that.
I honestly, if you really want my honest opinion, I think it's too late.
Listen.
I think it's way too late, because the guys, you said this in one of our videos, 90% of their roster are damaged goods, and they did it to themselves. Now, I wish no ill will on the talent, because I respect anybody that has the courage to get in the ring and take that risk with their bodies every night. But the WWE organization deserves these ratings, because this is what you've done to yourselves. You chose to ignore the fans for all these years that they've booed Cena. You chose to ignore the fans when they cheered for guys like CM Punk, but yet you made him the mid-card WWE champion. You chose to run guys like Daniel Bryan out of the business. You chose to book Bray Wyatt, easily one of your most talented guys, like he's a joke. The same with Cesaro, the same with Seth Rollins, the same with Dean Ambrose. And you took a guy, much as you may not like him, Frank, you took a guy in Roman Reigns who has a good look, has a good attitude, is a good worker for a man his size, who could easily be one of the most popular guys you have, and you fucking ruined him. You ruined him.
How long was I calling them to stop doing the Star vs. Star matches on TV? And I said they should use jobbers. Now look. They
finally wised up to start using jobbers to get guys over.
And I'm an idiot. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, we know absolutely nothing about the business, Frank. We're just internet smarts that like to bitch and moan.
They probably said, "Oh, that doesn't work. Nobody wants to see job matches. Nobody wants to see squash. But they do great. Look at James Ellsworth. He's become an internet sensation. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. What's even more unbelievable is that all the things that we kept on saying, hey, SOS, the things that we kept on telling them, stop ignoring your fans, stop not protecting your young talent, stop pushing these old fucks who already had their time. And look what the ratings are.
How much of a difference would it have made if Bray Wyatt would have had squash matches, enhancement matches in 2013, 2014, right? Just like Braun Strowman is doing it.
Braun Strowman and The Miz are being better utilized than Bray Wyatt and Cesaro. Let that sink in for a second.
Well, maybe they're starting to see the light. But now the damage is done.
The damage is already done, and that's my synopsis.
It's going to take a long time.
Yes. If the WWE wants their ratings to go back up to anywhere close to where they used to be, they have a lot of legwork ahead of them. They have a lot of rebuilding to do. And the funny thing is, Frank, I would love to fast forward 5 years from now just to see the shape that they're in, because Undertaker won't be around. Brock Lesnar won't be around. Cena will probably finally hang it up. Thank the Lord Almighty.
Well, Cena could do what he's doing. Come back once in a while. Okay, let's get at it.
Yeah, that's my response to him coming back. He should just go home. You know, like I said, I personally feel it's too late.
No,
I don't think that there's. That's where Frank and I will leave off tonight. Frank believes that they could turn the corner and possibly get these ratings up, and I hope Frank is right. I think that the damage is already done. You've taken all the guys that were your young guys, and you have made 90% of them 150% useless because they have no credibility. No one's going to pay to see someone who is a loser. How many guys on the roster could you actually say, that guy's a winner? That guy's a winner. How many guys, Frank, can you name?
The answer is more job matches. I'm being serious.
No, I hear you, but I asked you a question. Who could you name on the roster? Who could you name on the roster and say for a fact that guy is a winner?
Roman Reigns
and Lesnar.
Yeah.
That's it.
Finn Balor.
I guess an argument could be made for him because they haven't had any chance to fuck him up yet.
He came in, beat everybody he had to, got the shot, and won. He beat all the top guys.
Now, what do they do with him when he comes back from injury? Do they put him in a top spot, or do they?
Oh, he has to get the belt back.
In a perfect world, Frank, who does he face at WrestleMania?
I don't know. Unless the guy, the champion, is really hot. Otherwise, Finn Balor has to get the belt.
In my world, you want to bring back Finn Balor and really make a statement? You have him face The Undertaker, and he squashes him.
Whatever.
He beats him.
Finn Balor, by getting hurt.
Bye-bye Undertaker, go into retirement.
By getting hurt, not the worst thing. It builds his aura. But the second he comes back, he has to be strong.
Absolutely. I agree 100% with Frank, and that's where we're going to leave it, ladies and gentlemen. Frank and I are going to be doing a couple of more videos in the future. We still have that Gary Oldman video that we have to do, reviewing his career. We also have a couple of political videos coming up soon, with the election coming up. And Frank and I, hopefully, we'll be able to get a video in before the Survivor Series. Frank, you think that's doable?
Let me know. I can do a video anytime you want.
That's a pretty damn flexible schedule.
Just give me time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for Frank and myself. You guys take care and enjoy Clash of the Champions on Sunday.